Hey everybody, so about a year ago I did a video on the top 5 hardest trophies I've ever earned, and it was really fun doing that conversation, telling you guys some of the crazy shit that I've gone through in games just to get those trophies, and you really enjoyed that. But for this video I think we should do the opposite of that. So let's go through my trophy list now and show you some of the games that I didn't complete, basically threw in the towel and said, I'm not doing that shit. So, I've got my trophy list right here. We'll just run through it side by side. I feel like that's going to make it pretty easy. And honestly, there's a lot of games in here I still need to go back to, and I fully intend to platinum and complete. I'm probably going to get yelled at for some of these games, but I just got such a big backlog, so I've just been busy lately. I've been saying that for a while now. And there are some games in here with 1 or 2%, but I'm not even going to try to platinum them because I never meant to anyway. One of the weird things that I OCD-ishly do is if I know I'm not going to trophy hunt a game, I play it on a second account. So there's a lot of games in here that you might think, oh, you never played this or that. Well, I probably just played it on another account. And if it has 1 or 2% in here, it's because I accidentally played it on my main profile, then earned a trophy, and now it's stuck on my profile forever, and I'm never going to go for a platinum. But we'll focus more on the games that are like 40 or 50%, and these are games I straight up, I was trying to do, and said, screw it, I ain't doing this shit. So, I'm currently playing Subnautica. That's at 10%. That's a fun game. Firepoint, as you can see, that's one of my mistakes right there. I always played that on a second account. Now it's stuck on my main profile, and I'm never going to get a platinum in that. I'm not even going to try to do it. Okay, yeah, here's one. Knack. I'm not doing it. The thing about Knack is that, you know, you got to place it in time, right? Where it's like, it's a PS4 launch title, and even though it gets mediocre reviews, you're super excited about PS4, you buy a bunch of PS4 games, and especially for somebody like me, I'm like, oh man, I'm going to get a PlayStation 4 Platinum, it's going to be super fun. It's going to be great, and you're going through the game, and I enjoyed it. I think a lot of people enjoyed Knack. I don't think many people consider it a bad game. It's certainly not fantastic, but it's fun, right? It has its moments. But if you don't know, I mean, Knack's trophies were really a pain in the ass. The annoying thing about Knack is that it had these random drops. So there are certain sections of the game where there are secret areas, and you go down them if you find them, right? And they're not that hard to really find. They're pretty noticeable. But you go into them, there's a chest, you open it, and you get this, like, piece, right? It could be like a ruby piece or a diamond piece or something like that, but these are random drops, and you basically need to farm these out until you get a certain amount of them, and then you unlock a certain version of Knack. That's kind of how I remember it loosely. I'm sure people that remember it better can explain it more thoroughly than I am, but the fact that it's a random, and the fact that you gotta just grind out through certain sections of the game so many times, and you got to play the game with those versions of Knack, and then finish it on another hard setting, and it's just one of those things where it's way too much repetition with the element of luck, which is a trophy hunter's worst enemy. So that was one where I'm like, I'm so sick of this. So you could see how I was really going for it, but at a certain point, and this is really where I started to slow down with my trophy hunting, to be honest. So that was like a game where I'm like, I'm not doing this. No chance in hell. Here's a clean page right here. 100% down the board, son. I finished some of my games. Call of Duty Ghosts, yeah, 46%. I certainly tried to go for this game. There's nothing particularly bad about Call of Duty Ghosts. I'm sure I could have done it. I know there's some... I believe there's multiplayer trophies in this game. That probably was a roadblock for me at the time, I would imagine. A lot of DLC trophies. Oh yeah, the base game's 80%. So I definitely went out of my way for this. What am I missing in this? A lot of hidden trophies. Made it to the city in regular hardcore. Yeah, it was that, whatever the hell that mode was. With the aliens? I don't know what the fuck. I can't even remember. It was so long ago. But I believe this is all multiplayer stuff. So that was something. I think that was my hang up, which is just like, okay, well, I can't do that stuff. Probably because I'm not even that good at multiplayer games anymore, to be honest. I would need somebody to carry me through that stuff nowadays. I'm that guy, I'm going to be honest. Killzone Shadowfall is another one, and I do know this one quite well. As you can see, base game 74%. I did go for this one as well. What dropped me out of this, and I do remember quite well, max out all upgradable abilities. So this was another multiplayer grind. Just if you're into trophies, if you like hunting trophies, you hate multiplayer trophies with a passion because there's just too much randomized element, there's too much luck element. Yeah, it's skill, but a lot of it's very opportunistic. This one is very grindy, so you just had to play a shitload of the multiplayer. And the thing is, I really enjoyed it. It's really fun, and I have a lot of pretty good moments. I think I've got one clip saved on my computer still where I think I get like 5 or 6 kills in a row, which is good for me if I'm playing an online game. And so this was a burnout. This was a burnout one for me. I just couldn't do it anymore, you know? And I'm sure if there's probably, if somebody could tell me if there's, or I could just check, There's probably like a log in the game that tells you how many hours you've played. I'll probably display that right now to you. But I put a good amount of time into that game. And when you do that and you're just not getting anywhere, and I know I've got trophies where I spent 6-7 years on doing them, like Resistance 2 or GTA 4. Now granted, those games were very on-off over that 7-year period, but when you go for something so hard over and over and over again, and you just, you know, there's no tangible evidence of what you're getting at, right? There's no trophies even building up to it. It's one damn trophy. It sucks. And so I was like, I'm bailing out of that one. And you can see Beyond Two Souls, Puppeteer, these are games that I would certainly love to go back and platinum. I just don't think I'm ever going to. Purely off the sense that not that I'm going to get burned out or tired of them, but I just don't really have the need to. Ugh, okay, this is my rough page right here. I say that because your trophy list is always pretty much in the same order because it's based off of when the last time you played it is. So these games are always in the same order because that's just how they've been. And so every time I get to this page right here, it's so disgusting. Look at it. 2%, 1%, 9%, 24%. Oh, disgusting. Okay, but let's run through these. Ninokuni. One of those games where it's not like I went for it. It's 2%. I barely even got into the meat of the game. And I don't know why, but at some point I think I was just doing other things or whatever, just got caught up in life. And so I never actually, I own it, thought the first hour or two of the game was cool, but never got to it. Let's Fish Hooked On, I bought that to review on my channel, and I did post a review like 6 years ago or something. This is when I was trying to review so many games for my YouTube channel and kind of got over it. And Let's Fish Hooked On was terrible, so it's like I'm not going to go back and platinum that. Escape Vector, I fucking hated this game. For some reason, it had like good reviews. I couldn't stand it, but that's a game I'm not going to go back to. Earth Defense Force 2017 Portable. God, the thing is, it's at 24% completion, and I went for this game. Let me tell you what's so ridiculous about Earth Defense Force. You have to finish this game, like, I don't even know, 12, 14, 16 times? Something crazy. You have to play through the game so many times, and if you've never played an Earth Defense Force game, it's a very guilty pleasure game. It's actually pretty fun to go through the first time. You know, it's giant ants, you're shooting rockets at them, there's like really nothing to it. It's so straightforward. It really is. It's not even really a good game on paper, it's just a guilty pleasure. That's how I've always seen the game. And it played fine on Vita, you know, it was cool, but look at this. Clear all stages on normal, hard, hardest, inferno, easy, normal, hard, hardest, inferno. These trophies don't stack. That's the worst thing about it. So that's another thing. If you're not in trophies, you might hear the phrase stacked trophies a lot. Stacked meaning if you complete a trophy that already meets the conditions of a prior one, you earn both at the same time. These don't stack. And so you have to go through the game. Yeah, look at that. That's how many times you got to go through the game. It's nuts. And then there's miscellaneous ones. And I went through it like, I think I beat the game twice or something. And I was like, what am I doing? Like what am I doing? Like, if it was even a game with a little bit more depth, or, you know, you could play the game in a different manner every single time, or the trophies spiced it up a little bit, or if they stacked, maybe I'd have this platinum. But, I mean, good lord, that's just heinous. I don't even know why they would make the trophy list like that, honestly. Let's see what we got here. Final Fantasy 13, okay. Yeah, this one is kind of a big one for me. Spent a lot of time going for this game, and at 66%, you can see that I certainly went for this platinum. The thing is, I know this game is very divisive. A lot of people, I think, nowadays reflect on it and say it wasn't that bad. When it came out, it was bombarded by fans saying it was a terrible Final Fantasy. I enjoyed my time with the game. What stopped me is right here, held every weapon and accessory. So this is another scenario where luck and RNG is in play. So you're farming a lot of enemies, you're doing a lot of battles over and over again for that drop rate, so you can get the items that you need to. I believe there was a crafting system or way to buy weapons or create them. Been so long since I last played Final Fantasy 13. Look at, like, the last time I earned some of these gold trophies, 2010. Okay, that's 9 goddamn years ago. So don't fault me for not knowing what the hell's going on here. The reason why I'm never going back to this game is not only because I was right in the middle of hunting all these like items in the game, but because it was 9 years ago, sure, I've still got the save file. Actually, no, I don't still have the save file. That PlayStation 3 crashed from that PSN video, if you remember that. where I changed my PSN ID and then played a bunch of older PS3 games online to see what would happen, and then Black Ops 2 crashed my PS3. Yeah, fun memories. Okay, so I don't have that save file anymore. I still have to try and repair that hard drive. But let's say I still did. I can't go back to the game. I just can't. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what items I've held, what weapons I've made already. I have no idea where I even am at that point. So that's why I can't really go back. And it was one of those games where for the longest damn time in the back of my head, I'm thinking, okay, I'll go back. I'll get this platinum. I've already put in 90, 100 some odd hours. You can't just let that go. But, you know, 9 years later, and now my save file's gone, this is a platinum I will never get. And I have absolutely made my peace with that. Warhawk. As you can see, Warhawk, 71%. That's reasonable for what I can do with the game. Warhawk, well known for being one of the most difficult PlayStation 3 platinums out there, not only because it takes an immense amount of time, but a lot of skill as well. You need thousands of kills with every single weapon in the game, every single vehicle to get the last online rank. It's crazy, right? And so you had to be a really crazy hardcore player. It would take thousands of hours. The thing is, near the end of this game, before the server closure, because only a few hundred people were playing the game at any given moment at the peak, it was quite easy to arrange boosting partners at that point. So in theory, you could have gotten a platinum for one of the rarest PS3 platinums out there without too much effort. It still would have taken, even with boosting, it would have taken probably 200-300 hours with boosting. That's how crazy Warhawk was. But technically, a platinum probably is still achievable through X-Link Kai. That's the one thing that people use if you want to play a game that still has the servers closed, that basically kind of spoofs the your console into thinking that local play is actually online play. So that's one way where you could probably still earn a platinum. So I'm sure people are doing that because this community was very hardcore for this game. But I'm certainly not going to go through that. When you need 200-300 hours just for boosting, you're not going to get me to do it. And now we're pretty much actually at, there we go. Yeah, that's the end of the list. So Super Stardust HD, Uncharted Drake's Fortune, the two first PS3 games to ever get trophies, the first two games ever to have trophies. Pain is also extremely difficult. That was a game where it was like Warhawk. I did what I could. But those are all the trophies that I said, you know what? My time's more valuable. Not doing it. And as I've said in prior trophy videos, my mindset's really changed nowadays, just in the sense that, like, I just don't really have the time for this stuff anymore. You know, I reflect on a lot of these games, and I think for the platinums I've gotten and all the games I've done, I don't have any regrets. I had tons of fun doing them, even for the games that are really difficult, because I wear it in sort of a pride thing, right? Like, oh, this is something I achieved and it's really fun. That's the point of trophies, right? That's what you do with them. That's how I see them. I've never played a game just for trophies. I've always played games that I thoroughly enjoy, and if I really, you know, like them, I went for the 100%, which I only buy games I enjoy, really. So that's why that's kind of always been my philosophy with trophies. But some of these games, man, they were just ridiculous. So at a certain point, you have to say I can't do it. And that's how most people should probably look at it as well. And I'm sure many people do. I feel like trophies and achievements, they haven't been as talked about lately. I think they're kind of on a downward spiral. I don't think people value them nearly as much as they used to, like 10 years ago, when gamers were super addicted to achievements and trophies on PS3 and Xbox 360. But I still love earning them every now and again when they're, well, more straightforward and not nearly as time-consuming. But quite honestly, my favorite thing about doing a video like this is reading your stories and reading your comments. I sincerely mean that. Like, the top 5 hardest trophies video, I love reading some of those stories because, you know, you can't play every game, right? And so I like when you guys get into detail about, you know, what particular game demanded you to do, and me finding out, like, how ridiculous that might have been and you actually accomplishing it. So on the flip side, really, tell me, what have you tried to do, but it was just too much? Where you just said, I give up, I can't do this, that's what I want to hear. So if you got a story, please write it down below. But that's pretty much it for me in this video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe for the best PlayStation news, reviews, and updates that are here on YouTube, and follow on Twitter at Mystic Ryan to keep up with my gaming shenanigans, and share a story with me over there as well. I love stories. I'm all about story time. I'll roast some marshmallows. Let's have a conversation. And as always, I will see you all in my next video. You take it easy.